The idea that the Republican Party has done its best to repeal and replace Obamacare is a joke.
And with that, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, along with fellow Republican Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, are making a new drive to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act.
If you believe repealing and replacing Obamacare is a good idea, this is your best and only chance to make it happen, because everything else has failed except this approach, which will work if we get behind it.
New plan would do away with many protections offered by the Affordable Care Act and give huge block grants to states. And similar to previously failed Republican efforts, it would cut back Medicare and let states charge higher prices for pre-existing conditions. But there are some skeptical Republicans who voted against previous Senate bills. They are still in that category. Republicans need at least 50 votes with a tiebreaker by Vice President Mike Pence in order to pass the bill. Now, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, who supported the failed Republican bill in July, tweeted, "He won't this time. It keeps 90% of Obamacare spending and 90% of Obamacare taxes. No thanks." Also, of course, Senator John McCain of Arizona has blasted Republicans for trying to push this through with no hearings whatsoever. Also, the CBO announced that they're not going to actually release a score of this, which is kind of confusing. And so essentially, Republicans are trying to sneak this in without any hearings, without any CBO score. Why? Let's go to our panel. Again, Avis Jones-DeWeaver, George Farrell, Leland McDowell. Avis, I'll start with you. Again, here you have Republicans who are desperate to repeal the Affordable Care Act. This is a code red. Folks should be blowing the phones up of the United States Senate right now and not assume that this is not going to get passed. It could get passed.
It definitely could get passed. I mean, these people are stuck on stupid or stuck on evil. I don't know which one it is, and maybe it's a little bit of both. But they are completely obsessed with this idea of destroying the Affordable Care Act. They do not have a replacement that would come anywhere near the coverage that the ACA currently has in place. And so this would mean extremely difficult circumstances for millions of people across the country who right now have access to care who won't in the future. And in addition to that, they are sabotaging the ACA right now at this very moment by not putting in place the dollars that are necessary to be able to let people know about how they can utilize it. So they seem to be absolutely obsessed for some reason with making sure that they can deny people health care, and I think that is absolutely evil.
Well,
George, this is your party.
It's my party, and repealing the Affordable, which is the wrong name, Health Care Act, actually you're repealing a tax bill is what you're repealing. So to get rid of the tax bill that's been a burden to the taxpayers of the United States, I agree with that. It's not just a health care. The IRS should have nothing to do with this.
You do know
it's a tax burden. It's a tax burden. So shifting the care to the state so they can get a block grant for health care so they can administrate it through their hospitals, I think is a way to go.
You do know the coverage of the uninsured has dramatically dropped since the Affordable Care Act was put in place. You do know, George, that most people who file for bankruptcy in America was due to health care costs. You do know that the reasons for bankruptcy, citing health care, dramatically dropped as a result of the Affordable Care. Now, one second, Affordable Care Act. So explain to me, how is it we've seen how George, let me finish. How George, let me finish. George, let me finish. George, let me finish. George, let me finish. How is it we've seen a dramatic drop in the number of people who are uninsured and a dramatic drop in the number of Americans who are filing bankruptcy due to health care? And I know that because I did in 2004. How have we seen that, but then you say it's a bad idea?
I say the IRS should never been a part of the first health care bill. That was mistake number one.
You're not answering my question.
It's not a bad idea.
You're not answering my question.
But it's a good idea to have people be able to keep more of their income.
Leila.
If you can keep more of your income, you can afford health care.
What this bill does, when you talk about evil, it is evil. Pre-existing conditions include rape. Pregnancy, cancer. What it does is it takes away any protection for insurance companies denying people who have quote-unquote pre-existing conditions, which is basically being alive, autism, handicaps, sexual assault, you name it. It also will throw at least 20 to 32 million people off of the health care rolls. These are disproportionately women and children and families who are working hard to pay their bills and now will be faced with a situation where they can't get health care if they get sick and go back to the days where you have to choose between rent or going to the doctor.
Folks, Go ahead. For,
Yeah,
by
so-
10 seconds.
And there is a good chance it will pass. Senator McCain is wavering. People really need to get woke on this. Don't sleep.
Folks, here's your number to call. You should be calling 202-224-3121, 224-3121, asking for your United States Senator. It does not matter if they're a Democrat or Republican. You must let them know that this should not pass, because, again, if you want to actually repeal the Affordable Care Act, have the guts to have hearings.
Yes.
Have the guts to actually allow people to debate this. And also, by the way, March of Dimes, opposed to this. American Cancer Society, opposed to this. Groups out there who understand the impact of health care, they are opposed to this.
Absolutely.
And there's a reason why Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell would not meet with the March of Dimes or the American Cancer Society or the American Heart Association, because he doesn't want to hear from those Americans, only the lobbyists who want to reap the benefits from a change in this.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
He
Unfiltered.
wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.